What is the one thing that, when seen, could change every would-be meditator? Tonight's lesson is drawn from the 41st verse of Yong-jig xuan-jue's The Song of Enlightenment. Together. Flying the Dharma flag announcing the school's doctrine, clearly the Buddha's teaching is at Shaoxi. It is said Kashyapa was the first to transmit the lamp, the first of 28 generations in the West. So, there are many, many flaws to be found in every corner of humanity. So it should come as a little surprise, there are many flaws to be found in the Mahayana tradition of Buddhism, including the profoundly patriarchal and sectarian tradition of learning from a teacher and a teacher only. In Shan, and that would become Zen, there was just tremendous patriarchy, tremendous sectarianism. And yet the author of this text which is beloved by Zen practitioners, claimed that his only teacher was not the sixth patriarch, but the Buddha. Not directly, of course, but just by reading sutras. And so perhaps it should not come as a great surprise that the author of this text would sort of kind of needle the whole idea of sectarianism. Well, clearly the Buddha's teaching is found at that monastery because they're flying a specific flag. Can you sense the sarcasm? What is so foolish about sectarianism? It is yang indulgent. A dichotomy is drawn in the early Buddhist schools between Gautama and his wicked cousin Devadatta. It is said Devadatta's attributes were to be rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. Things that our Taoist friends might call yang. Whereas the Buddha was said to be flexible, loving, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, things that could be described today as yin. But what has that to do with sectarianism? Sectarianism favors rigidity over flexibility. Sectarianism favors being controlling over being laid back. For instance, I'm going to ask certain questions of this teacher, and if he doesn't answer those questions according to my liking, then clearly he is not worthy to instruct me. Sectarianism is lazy and superstitious. To think that one piece of arbitrary criteria defines an entire person's worth and ability to help us or help others. So what's really behind our sectarianism? Our fear. Our fear that a teacher or a group are dangerous to us. So let's take a more direct approach. What is the truest test of a teacher? Now, it's not a convenient test, but this is how. Receive instruction from a teacher. Apply that instruction for at least 5 minutes a session, once every 12 hours or so, for 7 consecutive days. Number 1, if you can't do that or won't do that, then that teacher is the least of your problems. Number 2, if you do that, then you got to notice the results. If after playing with that techniques once every 12 hours for 7 consecutive days, you are more anxious and more cranky, then that teacher probably isn't the one for you. However, if after working with that technique once every 12 hours for 7 consecutive days, you are more peaceful, you are more loving, you might have stumbled upon a useful teacher. Well, how are we to know which group to rely upon? Simple. Are the members of the group competitive or cooperative? Are they arrogant or humble? Are they cruel or are they kind? Are they foolish or are they wise? We become like those who we surround ourselves with. We surround ourselves with people who are competitive and arrogant and cruel and stupid. It's not going to really be useful. It's not going to function as fertilizer, although shitty it may be. Find people who you want to be like. Find people who are cooperative and kind and humble, and who at least possess a modicum of wisdom. While you're looking for those people, you're welcome to come to these live streams. You are welcome to reach out to my members only group on Facebook, the links of which can be found on my YouTube channel's homepage. So there you go. And of course, whenever you come into a live stream, you are welcome to ask all the questions you want in the chat window. I look forward to chatting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. Oh, thank you, Stephen. I'm doing well. How are you today? This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent more than 8 hours a day, every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of Buddhism so that you would not have to. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. We begin not with prayer, but with recitation designed to stimulate our intention, both empathetic and enthusiastic. Doing so helps us to train in the second, first, and sixth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The first of two recitations is terribly literal. We're setting part of it to triplet and the rest to quarter notes. Let's chant. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on thee, Buddha's example, instructions, and students. These three nouns have been so useful to so many for such a long period of time that they've earned the metaphoric nickname of the three wish-fulfilling jewels, kind of like Aladdin's lamp. The second version of this same intention is more concise and more literal, and we're going to set this recitation to a bookend chant. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. As children, the first bike we most likely received came with training wheels, well, which, although clunky, got the job done. Similarly, this evening's first meditation is going to be somewhat ungainly. During each inhalation, we can recite the 12 syllables, perceiving this very turbulent play of mind. During each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. Let us remove the first of two metaphoric training wheels, reducing the length of our contemplative exercises from 12 syllables per breath down to just 3. During our inhalation, for this exercise, during the inhalation, let's silently and mentally recite, sitting tall. And during the exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite, relaxing. And this is what we call cultivating a sustainable posture. The idea is to create a vertical traction between our tush and our head. During our inhalation, let's silently and mentally recite, "Notice this." And during our exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite, "Relaxing." Let's remove the second of two metaphoric training wheels, reducing the length of our contemplative exercise from 3 syllables per breath down to just 1. During our inhalation, let's silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun "this." And during our exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb "ease," which functions as a synonym of "relax." Now that we have reached contemplative cruising altitude, together as a team, let us meditate as transformatively as Obi-Wan Kenobi upon the sands of Tatooine under the guidance of the Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. For the next several minutes, we will intermittently explore various facets of the iconography of this archetype, which could be described in Sanskrit as Samantabhadra, Samantabhadri, Karma Mudra. It could be described in Tibetan as Kuntu Zongpo Yabyum. It could be described in English as all good guy and all good gal in tantric union. Every time we inhale, whether we mean to or not, we are accessing the sympathetic nervous system. It is located in our spinal cord, in the thoracic region that corresponds with our rib cage. It is not wired for active concentration or mind blanking, but it is wired to simply notice, and to do so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. This is symbolized by the tantric gal, the color of a cumulus cloud. Every time we exhale, whether we mean to or not, we are accessing our parasympathetic nervous system. It too is located in our spinal cord in both the lower lumbar region as well as the tippy top of the cervical region. It is so wired as to support our physical relaxation and our mental release. And it is symbolized by this tantric guy right here, the color of the azure sky. Let us consider the nudity of Kuntu Zongpo and Kuntu Zongmo Yabyum. It could typify the complete vulnerability of mindfulness. I probably failed to remind you that simply noticing as we breathe in is mindfulness. Just as simply relaxing as we breathe out is meditation. Although mindfulness and meditation depend upon our spinal cords, if we don't include the 3-pound supercomputer between our ears in the process, it will distract us. You see, the key to meditation is simply blending our intention with the factory installed processes already latent within our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. Ironically, the easiest way to do that is with self-talk. by incorporating, by silently and mentally reciting this and ease and harmony, silently and mentally reciting them in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation, it is if we are asking a child to hold a flashlight while we work on fixing something in the house. The child feels like they're part of the team. Same thing with our brain. Our brain can either oppose our practices of awareness and release, or it can cooperate. "50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to love and to loving kindness. Number 1, to wishing love. Number 2, to kind communication. Number 3, to kind conduct. And number 4, to kind commerce. Why are Kuntu Zangpo and Kuntu Zangmo depicted as beautiful? Because the mindfulness training and the meditation training give birth to the highest love, which is spontaneous and uncontrived. The translucence of Kuntuzang Po and Kuntuzang Mo Yabyum remind us that that as we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand. The abandon with which the Gao, the color of a white cumulus cloud, sports in tantric union, reminds us to choose spontaneity over contrivance. The stability with which this blue tantric guy sits reminds us that spontaneity does not have to be scattered, it can instead be centered. When our choices and our utterances and our deeds flow from love's centered spontaneity, the byproduct of our mindfulness and meditation, then life becomes infinitely more workable. This bit of tantric art, we see that the woman is being active and the man is being passive, reminding us to transcend our sexist preconceptions. as we consider how Kuntu Zongmo is the color of a cumulus cloud, and Kuntu Zongpo is the color of the azure sky, let us transcend the preconceptions of racism. As we consider the nudity of Kuntu Zongmo and Kuntu Zongpo, the absence of fine silks and the absence of shabby rags, let us transcend the preconceptions of classism. Let's seal this evening's practice by chanting kind ethics and then the four immeasurables. May all beings practice have kind communication, contact, and calm as spontaneous and uncontrived. May everyone be free from misery. May everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and confusion freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours or so, I could return to, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.